My name is Cynthia McIntosh, and I welcome you to Word Alive Ministries, called to encourage you to have a deep, intimate relationship with Christ. Well, today I want to share a word of the Lord with you from Genesis chapter 21, verse 14 through 21. And I want to start out by reading this text today. It says, So Abraham rose early in the morning and took bread and a skin of water, and putting it on her shoulder, he gave it and the boy to Hagar and sent her away. Then she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. And the water in the skin was used up, and she placed the boy under one of the shrubs. Then she went and sat down across from him at a distance of about a bow shot. For she said to herself, Let me not see the death of the boy. So she sat opposite him and lifted her voice and wept. And God heard the voice of the lad. Then the angel of God called to Hagar to heaven and said to her, What ails you, Hagar? Fear not, for God has heard the voice of the lad where he is, and arise. Lift up the lad and hold him with your hand, for I will make him a great nation. Then God opened her eyes. Yeah, he opened her eyes and saw a well of water. She saw a well of water, and she went and filled the skin with water and gave the lad a drink. So God was with the lad, and he grew and dwelt in the wilderness and became an archer. He dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took a wife for him from the land of Egypt. From this text, the word God told me to share with you is that abandonment is a door to a new move of God in your life. Yes, abandonment can be a door to a new move of God in your life. I want you to know abandonment in any form can be very painful. It is something that can be very traumatic. It can affect you mentally, emotionally, and physically. What is abandonment? Abandonment is when something leaves you to never return. It can be something that is connected to a relationship with a parent, with a spouse, with a child, oh yes, with a relative, with a friend, with an enemy, a loss, maybe due to a disagreement or through death. It can be an emotional abandonment where the person is there, but their heart is not there. That is just as painful, to have them have your back but not have your heart. They really don't care about you, but they're doing something for you because they have to. Another form of abandonment is with finances, with employment. Oh yes, with the government, someone that you thought would take care of you. Abandonment, beloveds, with God is a door to a new move in your life by him. In other words, it's time to think about God. With abandonment, he wants us to take our mind off the situation and place our mind on him. And the good news is that God will find you. Abandonment will not be forgotten by God. He will look for abandonment. Abandonment has a voice, and as soon as it occurs, it rises up to heaven. It says to God, it's time to release the gift that I have prepared for them. You see in this story that a woman and her child had been abandoned by a man of God. That man of God was called Abraham. Through his loins came Christ. 42 generations later, God promised him through him all nations would be blessed. You would think that he would not have allowed an internal issue in his home to cause him to send away a child and the mother that he sired the child from. It was his baby. But his wife told him, his other wife, yeah, there's always a lot of trouble when you got two women in the same house. But his first wife, Sarah, had a baby. God said he was the one to receive the inheritance, not the first baby, Ishmael. And so tension arose in the family. Sarah said, put her out, put him and the baby out, and God agreed. Let him go. God knew beforehand when he told Abraham to send them out into the desert with just enough food and water that she could carry on her shoulder. When he told her that, God had a plan in store. So he agreed with the plan. He was ready to start and give that family a new life. And God will do that for you. Great truth from this text today, beloveds, is that God will begin where something in your life ends. He will take over the plan. And so to do that, what he will do, he will empty you out. Yes, God made it very clear that it was his turn to come into the picture by allowing Abraham to send them out with, maybe his thought was that they would get devoured by animals, that they would starve to death, that they would just die from the lack of food. But God picked up where he left off. That child lost the grandfather to his children. He lost his teacher. He lost his provider. He lost his inheritance. What happened in his life, that natural loss led to a supernatural intervention. And that's what God will do for you. If you have found yourself in a situation where you've lost something that you will never get back, look for something that God can do for you in your life. Now, in this text, you'll see where God sent an angel at the point where they ran out of food and water. And he asked her a question, what ails you? He said, don't fear. He said, I'm going to take care of you. God has heard the voice of the lad. I really do believe that Hagar's baby asked God to allow him to continue his life without ever seeing Abraham again. I really do. For God heard that child, and what happened? What happened in his life? God allowed him to be helped by what he had left over. What did he have left? He had Hagar. And God allowed Hagar to see a well. What was that well before that? It was hidden. Her blessing was hidden. And it said that God opened her eyes. The one thing that Ishmael had left in his life was the key to his future. Sometimes we got to look at not what we've lost, but what we have present and what God has given us to bless us. You see in this life, a great truth in this text, that God will give the mother connected to the child, if she remains, what she needs to take care of her baby. The end is not lost when the food is gone. The end is not lost. There is more hope left over despite what you lack. But it takes God to then take you into the next season of your life. You've got to look up, hold on to what you have, and trust God to let you find what you need. I'm a witness, dear hearts. Abandonment is the door to a new move of God in your life. Ishmael was able to be led by his mother back home to Egypt. She went back to Africa. She helped him to find a wife. He became a powerful archer. He started his own family. Yes, him and God began a nation of people that yet lives in Africa. Can God do it for you? The answer is yes. Why will he do it for you? It's because God keeps an eye on abandoned people. He sees your heart. He sees your weeping. He sees your crying. I want you to be encouraged today that God is with you and that he's going to take care of you. But beloveds, I've got to go. God bless you, and I look forward to sharing with you again.